Hello, my dear students. Welcome to Science Made Simple by Miss Flons. Our standard for today, 6E28.2, analyzed based on evidence how different phenomena, natural and human-induced, may contribute to the composition of Earth's atmosphere. Our cross-cutting concept, cause and effect. This is our focus of study for today. Our standard is divided into 3 topics, and the first topic that we'll be learning today is about the origin of the atmosphere. What is the atmosphere? The atmosphere is a layer of gases that surrounds the Earth. If we recall, we have studied the current layers of the atmosphere. We have the troposphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, the thermosphere, and the exosphere. But what it looks like during the early Earth? During the early Earth, which was formed 4.5 billion years ago, there has no atmosphere. The Earth was covered with active volcanoes. These volcanic eruptions helped form an early atmosphere. The eruptions released carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. And that's the reason why, if you look at our early atmosphere, it is made up of 85% carbon dioxide. And the reason for this is the volcanic eruptions that took place during the early Earth. Ammonia for 10%, methane for 4%, water 1%, and nitrogen 1%. You notice that there is no oxygen during the early atmosphere. And that's the reason why also we can say there is no animals during that time. One billion years later, after Earth formed, it started to finally cool down. And because of that cooling down, the result is water vapor in the air condensed to liquid. The effect? Early oceans and lakes were created. Carbon dioxide in the atmosphere dissolved in the water, and the carbon dioxide levels fell quickly. Going back to our standard, what was the natural phenomena that helped change the composition of our Earth's atmosphere? This is it now. The cooling down of the Earth, creating the decrease in the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. What happens next? Because of that, life on Earth evolved. The first life forms on Earth were microbes called cyanobacteria. This cyanobacteria is capable of performing photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? This is the process wherein plants make its own food. Photosynthesis make use of carbon dioxide and release oxygen. So if you look at again the composition of our atmosphere during this time, carbon dioxide is being utilized in the photosynthesis, and oxygen is released. Therefore now, our composition now of the atmosphere, we have oxygen already because it was released by cyanobacteria during photosynthesis. So notice again how the composition of the atmosphere now. Oxygen now is added as one of the gases in the atmosphere because of the photosynthesis. What comes next? These cyanobacteria evolve into plants. Plants continue to release oxygen and thereby creating nitrogen. Going back again to our natural phenomena, we have now nitrogen, oxygen, and carbon dioxide as gases in the atmosphere. Change number 4. Plants continue to evolve and multiply. Plants continue to release lots of oxygen. So exists oxygen in the atmosphere forms ozone that makes up our ozone layer. Watch out for ozone layer as we'll be discussing this in a separate video. And lastly, with plants and animals now present on the surface of the earth, when they die, decomposition process releases nitrogen as a waste product. So, if you look at the current atmosphere now, we have nitrogen, which is 78%, oxygen, 21%, water, 1%, or this is the water vapor, methane, 1%, and carbon dioxide, 1%. If you look at now and compare early atmosphere and current atmosphere, during the early atmosphere, the carbon dioxide is 85%, ammonia 10%, methane 4%, water 1%, nitrogen 1%. In the current atmosphere, nitrogen 78%, oxygen 21%, water 1%, methane 1%, and carbon dioxide 1%. Going back to our standard, we will be looking at how the natural induced phenomena change the composition of our atmosphere. Looking back to that, we have carbon dioxide in the early atmosphere. This came from volcanic eruption. How about nitrogen in the current atmosphere? This is brought by the decomposition of plants and animals. And oxygen was due to the photosynthesis process being made by our plants and even our cyanobacteria. So these are the processes that cause the change and the composition of our atmosphere from early atmosphere and the current atmosphere. If we look at the future of our atmosphere, it is even changing up to now. Carbon dioxide levels are rising again rapidly. The increase in carbon dioxide now is due to the human activities such as burning fossil fuels and deforestation. And this composition of our current atmosphere will not stay the same. Unless we do something, it will continue to rise, especially the carbon dioxide level. And this carbon dioxide level continually rising will contribute to the phenomenon called global warming, which we'll be also learning later on. That will be all for today. Next video to watch, the ozone layer.